smell burning? No? It's like something kicked on. It smells burning. The oven on? No? Yeah, about ready? Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's gone. All right. Hopefully all the retards are here. I can't stand them either. I know. I wouldn't say that in front of Dick. But I'm like, those are your things, buddy. Jesus. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thunderdome TV Daily. I think it's TV. Thunderdome, no, just Thunderdome Daily. I've heard that we're going to get in trouble for saying Thunderdome from multiple people. Hopefully that intro had enough people watching, joining us, and we'll get into it. So what is at the top of the news is riots, obviously. It's all riot all the time here, most of the time here, for right now anyway. But we're going to begin with some tragic news. Let's start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, trans and retarded people, we open our show tonight with heavy hearts. Thunderdome TV host and executive producer Dick Nicarlo has tragically passed away. In an attempt to break the world record cream pie anal gangbang, Mr. Nicarlo suffered a massive rectal hemorrhage, causing him to bleed out from his already severely battered anus, resulting in an unintended world record for the most blood and semen ever recorded to pour out of a man's ass. The former record holder, James P. Carlisle, said he was shocked and saddened by Mr. Nicarlo's untimely passing. He will not be missed. So, now that that's out of the way, excuse me. Looks like some new teams are joining the league. Rioters in Columbus, Ohio launched an attack on the State House in the early hours of Friday morning to protest the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, or Minneapolis, depending on who you ask. Floyd, who was unarmed and subdued with handcuffs, died after a police officer pinned his neck to the ground with his knee and held it there until he stopped breathing. Protests and riots are ongoing in several cities around the U.S., including Minneapolis, St. Paul, Memphis, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky, Denver, Colorado, Los Angeles, California, and Columbus, Ohio. So you know what this means. The National Riot League is taking off like a rocket, quickly replacing football as America's top sport to watch. Evidence of this can be seen with a quick look at popular YouTuber GloomTube, who in one single night of riot coverage racked up well over 10,000 live views and 1,500 followers. That's important. On a platform called DLive. Wow, congratulations to Mr. Tube. When asked why the sudden switch from YouTube to DLive, GloomTube responded that, quote, DLive lets his viewers say nigger in the comment section. That doesn't seem like the best reason to do things, but I guess he knows his audience. That one was rough. Mother of Louisville police. She probably is a mother of 5. Give me a break. I know. Mother of Louisville police shooting victim calls for peace. 7 shot during Louisville protest over police shooting of Breonna. Is it Breonna or Breonna? Breonna Taylor. So, looking to diffuse anger after gunfire wounded at least 7 people at a protest in Louisville. The mother of a black woman killed by police urged protesters to continue demanding justice, but do so without hurting each other. But also added, unless they're white. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear read the statement from Breonna Taylor's mother hours after gunshots erupted during the protest late Thursday outside City Hall, leaving one person in critical condition, police said Friday. Mayor Greg Fisher said police officers fired no shots. Instead, they provided aid to the wounded. Why? Why would you do that? These people hate you and don't want you to be there, and a lot of them want you dead. But okay, maybe applying Band-Aids will change some hearts and minds. How y'all doing out there in comment land? Oh, yeah, see? We know the audience. I agree with the descendant. Descendant. Yeah, singular. That makes more sense. Moving on. Today in food news, a new USA Today poll finds that the vast majority of people all over the world either love or like nachos, while the remaining 4% who claim to not like nachos are contrarian, stupid asshole faces. There's the poll. There's the poll. I got to start putting these things behind me, right, guys? I personally find these people to be the asexuals of the food world. I need one of those. I can't reach that. Well, then you sit at it and fucking do it. I mean, the jokes are obvious enough when you place them. When I place the way I do. What else we got here? CNN news crew was arrested by Minnesota police for allegedly not moving far enough away from police lines. The crew was released several hours later, and the governor apologized for the arrest. When protesters were asked how they felt about the authorities detaining the CNN crew, the majority of the young respondents said, "What is CNN?" The protesters then set fire to a mail truck and chanted, "Free James Lloyd, free James Lloyd." Shifting topics now. Today in coronavirus news, we haven't heard about that for a while, have we? Yeah, people kind of forgot about it. They also forgot about that other black guy that was killed. I can't remember his name. Somebody help me in the comments, because I'm not even joking. But while I wait on that, we'll get into it. Today in coronavirus news, protesters in the Minneapolis area burned dozens of buildings last night, some of which were constructed as far back as the 1930s. Man, imagine what the demographics were in the 1930s. You know what else happened in the 1930s? The beginning of World War II. Which was a special time in U.S. history where young men joined the military in record numbers to fight an evil enemy in a battle that engulfed the world. Most of the brave souls gave the same reasons for joining the war effort. Let me start over. Most brave souls gave the same reasons for joining the war effort. Things like patriotism, justice, duty to their country, and of course, the right for their non-binary grandchildren to identify as deer and read to children in public libraries while dressed in women's clothes. Also, for the rights of people from all over the world to continue to pour into America with the hopes of also achieving the American dream, which is to collect welfare, free housing, cell phones, and live a fulfilling life paid for by the U.S. taxpayer. And also for the government to grow so large and powerful that it would deny the needs of its native peoples in order to import uneducated foreigners who have decimated their own countries, trillion-dollar tech companies, and be beholden to the Chinese government just to be able to pay for its outrageous spending habits. God bless the greatest generations. We will make your dream a reality. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but I literally got nothing else. After Dick passed away, do I have anything that sounds like crying? No? After he died, it left me with very minimal resources here till I can learn all this stuff. So I figured it would be a short show today. Remember, we always guaranteed you 20 minutes on the Thunderdome TV Daily. But some good news. Rex Thompson is, let me see, it's, okay, 3 o'clock, which means he just landed. So Rex Thompson will be on the way soon, which reminds me of another thing. I got some good news. And it's a news show. So that's good, right? Somebody ordered some t-shirts. Wasn't me. I believe it was actually Rex Thompson. I don't want the microphone to be in the way. Hold on. What do you guys think of these? What do y'all think of that? Pretty cool, right? These were sent to us by our good Floridian friend, Mr. Bobby Pickles. Everybody give it up for Bobby Pickles. I'll slap the board here in a little bit. It's not going to do a lot because there's not as many things programmed on this board. I need it to say murder the... These are prototypes. What do you want me to do? I didn't fucking order them. Check out Bobby Pickles' shop. It's Fat Enzo. Fat Enzo. I'm sure you can just Google it and find it. I'll give you some better details on the website and whatnot. I wasn't prepared today. Well, I was prepared for 6 minutes of shit. That's it. If I had Riot footage, I would show you. I don't. I got none of that set up. So today's what they call a free day. It's a free Friday. But tomorrow is Booze and Cocaine Saturdays. I know it doesn't have the same ring to it, but it's going to be fun. We got Pierce from Blackballed coming in. He'll be here tomorrow. Rex Thompson will be here tonight. I'm going to encourage them to do a show because I think that it would be pretty entertaining. Just the two of them, see how that happens. They're going to be recording a bunch of stuff tonight, so stay tuned for, like skit videos and stuff that will be ready in about 2 or 3 months. Good old-fashioned board slap. You know, if I slap this board, I'm only 10 minutes in. I got to do 20. And it could fuck it up. I'm going to need some donations if I'm going to slap that board. I'm sorry. Oh, that's the... I thought my shirt had a big split in it because I'm fat. Make sure everybody is has their alerts turned on for tomorrow because we're going to have probably wild things going on throughout the day. It will be an early show because there's also going to be a huge party going on right down the road at the local honky tonk. Can't say the name of it because we're going to have some VIPs there, and we don't want it to get ugly or have a bunch of fanboys show up and ruin it for everybody. Also coming up will be Don Jolly, Rico, and Tim. They're flying in... I don't know. Don, when are you guys flying in? Let me know. You're right there. Let me know. So yeah, that's... and special guest is flying in with them. He's the one I'm not allowed to say. But you guys are going to love it. I don't know if the secret is already spilled or not. But I'm excited to get banned from this platform already. I think it might be a record. Anybody got anything else you want to talk about? I can pull news up on my phone. I can pull it up on... First of all, let me get rid of that. It's a little distracting. Y'all can watch me try to... Nope, not that one. Fuck it! Hey! Yeah! Y'all saw it. That was a good slap. I like this better. It's way more intimate. Intimate. Minneapolis. Are the mods going back and forth? That'd be cool. Man, this really fucking petered out. I should have had some, personal stories. Let me think. What's happened to me lately? So, in the midst of the toilet paper crisis, right, of 2020, when everybody bought way more than they needed, they obviously weren't considering everybody else, right? But a certain group of people that were severely affected by this, me being one of them, was septic tank owners. out here on the compound, we have a pretty good sizable chunk of land, but we don't have sewer lines. So we have a septic tank. It's getting kind of old too. But what happened was all the good toilet paper sells out, and then you got to get the cheap stuff that's not necessarily septic safe, but you still got to wipe your ass. A lot of people, yeah, see, you didn't think about that, but I can't go around with the dirty asshole. And before I know it, last week, appreciate that, Rico. Last week, my toilet started clogging. And I'm going, what the I get mad at everybody using the bathrooms. And finally it was pointed out to me, I'm probably not using septic safe toilet paper. And so I just now was able to acquire some Scott's septic safe toilet paper from Dollar General. And the toilets appear to be flushing properly, but this is like hour 1. But I've already taken a test shit. I didn't get the full amount of what I expected. So, you know, I can't say that everything's working 100%. But it looks like it might already be getting better. Has anybody else had, one, problems with lack of toilet paper in general? And two, any septic problems if you have a septic system? I don't know. The good news is I never ran out. Never ran out of toilet paper. But even if I did, I got a bidet. The only problem is it's a standing bidet in my shower. When I bought this house, another interesting story. When I bought this house, it was listed in all the features and amenities that had a bidet, and I was really excited to see it because I've never had one before. And I went into the master bathroom. In the master bedroom is the only thing I like about this place. The rest of the house is shit. I bought it because of the master bedroom. Big mistake. Bought it at a good time though. If anybody wants to buy some land at a discount, let me know. I'm ready to get rid of this piece of shit. I go into the bathroom. It's a toilet. And not only is it a toilet, it's the toilets that have a circular bowl, like a perfect circle. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of audience members that still have those. I replaced all four of my toilets with the elongated bowl so my dick and balls don't rub up against the front, which I find absolutely disgusting. But there's still places in, like some small restaurants, older restaurants, things like that, that has the round bowls. And you got to think of all the dicks and all the balls that have just rubbed up against the front of that lip. All the piss, all the shit, all the semen. People jerk off in toilets. I've done it. Who hasn't done it? But anyway, back to the bidet. So I go into the master bathroom, and it's just a regular shitty round toilet. I'm fucking annoyed. I go, why would you advertise? Was that a slip? Was there like a checkbox for amenities? The house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. 1,500 square feet, whatever. 1 shower, 1 tub. How do you accidentally click bidet? And I don't even think there's a checklist. I think you type it in or write it in or whatever. So I'm like, well, that's disappointing. It's not going to keep me from buying the place, but it's disappointing. So I'm looking at everything else in the bathroom, and I stick my head in the shower. It's a glass standing shower. And it's got a rain head shower overhead, and then it's got one like a little higher than head level pointing at you. And then I look down, and there's the same head as the one that's about face level, right at about asshole level. And I went, that's the bidet. It's just an ass hoser. It's a standing ass hose. Ass hose is how retarded people say assholes. What other stories do I got? Filling that time. 4 minutes. I don't want to get back into Riot things without footage. But I did get to see some buildings burned to the ground last night. And I hope that tonight is even better. Because now you're about to have real riots in Louisville, Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, maybe Houston. I don't think Texas is going to allow it. I'm hoping that it didn't peter out last night, but it didn't look like it was. I mean, they burned shit till sunrise. The last thing I saw was the National Guard rolling in. And I noticed a lot of the people, they didn't mind the National Guard. I think that they were like, okay, we understand. We're still going to burn your shit. But we understand that the National Guard isn't the enemy. It's the police, naturally. The National Guard didn't kill anybody. You know, they just follow orders or whatever. Sounds familiar. So I hope that the National Guard uses real guns. Another thing I noticed is the, I guess the ignorance of the protesters. They were acting dumbfounded and befuddled that the cops eventually started carrying around real guns and not like paintball guns and throwing canisters of tear gas. And they were like, how dare you bring guns to this? I can't believe that. They were, if they weren't angry before, they were angry when the real guns came out, which you see real guns on cops every day. But make no mistake, if there's any new viewers and you weren't aware, this show isn't any fan of the police. Dead Dick Nicarlo actually said he hated cops. I don't say I hate them. I say I just don't like them, and I believe that they're the enforcement arm of the United States government that is then used to protect the criminals that need to be attacked more than anybody. I heard that the Minneapolis University canceled their contract with the police department worth, according to Sean King, who is always factually correct and truthful, worth millions of dollars. And I'm waiting for the day when the police stop protecting Ilhan Omar, because that'll be interesting. Big mixed crowd of people in Minnesota. I'm wondering how well whites would fare in a riot in, let's just say, Los Angeles. Because the last one in LA, it wasn't a mixed crowd, if you know what I'm saying. Not of the actual protesters. Your counter-protesters, Koreans on rooftops, I think that they fared well. But if you were a white person on the street during the protest, it was bad news for you, Reginald Denny. You guys remember Reginald Denny? He was the truck driver that got pulled out of his truck and beaten over the head with the lid of a toilet tank. It's kind of a callback. And the toilet tank was probably off of one of those toilets that has the round hole on it, you know? So they didn't like the toilet anyway. They're like, fuck it, I'm going to use this to bash somebody's head in. I don't blame them. It's a good weapon. The only thing is, swinging that is really going to take the energy out of you. But maybe they saw some movies where there's like, just one swing and it'll break. And it'll look pretty cool cracking over some cracker's head. But it didn't break. So it just repeatedly smashed him with that and bricks. He's not right to this day, but he's still alive. God bless him. Let's see. Do we got any other fun personal stories? Like an insight into old Ville's life? I'm just not that entertaining, and the things I can tell you that are entertaining would send me to prison. So that can't happen. It really limits me, you know what I mean? Donks, I noticed you said 8-gallon flush. The new low-flow toilets, mine are, it's like they're designed to shoot the fucking jet stream. It just really fucking clears it. I think it was the toilet paper. I think it's backing up in the line because it doesn't dissolve as fast. But even the 8-gallon toilets, I thought, were more prone to flushing than the modern low-flow toilets. So I'm Googling what causes a toilet to clog. I've done plumbing work. Okay, I'm a regular Joe, despite being worth millions. This jacket alone, $3,000. I mean, look. I got to get it retailored. See this crease here? You shouldn't have that. Shouldn't have that. Anyway, so I'm Googling what causes toilets to not flush. And they say tree roots can grow into the main drain pipe. They say the wrong toilet paper. That's what I think. But if you guys have ever noticed on any house I've ever seen built after 1970, there's these pipes coming out of the roof about that big around. And you go, what the fuck are those for? Well, it turns out those tie into your shit pipe. And it keeps it keeps a vacuum from being created in the sewer line or the septic line. The enzymes aren't going to break down toilet paper fast enough. And by the way, those enzymes occur naturally. If you buy the yeast to eat the shit, you're really just wasting your money. I figure worst case scenario, I'll just have them come out and pump this fucker every couple weeks. Because I ain't getting a new septic installed. I'm getting the fuck out of this place. Anyway, so one time I was a kid, and I was on the roof of my house when I was growing up, and I noticed one of those pipes. And I go, what the fuck? Because you don't know when you're a kid. I didn't know until very recently that is tied to your shit line. I figured it was some kind of exhaust or something, you know? And it was a shit exhaust. And so I'm up on the roof and I'm looking down in the pipe, right? And I'm listening. I put my ear into the pipe. And it kind of sounds like, wow, 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 wow. And for no reason at all, I sucked on it. I went, shit gas. Shit gas. I don't know why I did it. No idea. Don't let your children suck shit gas. Why didn't I blow in it? Probably a predilection to homosexual activity, if I had to guess. Which brings me to my next story, how I got HIV. You would think it was from gay anal sex. And you'd be right. Fab Zero, body needs tailoring, the jacket is fine. You're 100% correct, sir. Send me some Vegemite. I hear y'all are big fans. I've never had Vegemite, but I mean, it's probably good. I don't know. What else do they eat in Australia? Like shark teeth, alligators and shit? I'm glad I don't have to ever set foot in that horrible country, which would have been fine before. But then they started letting in all the refugees, and I'm like, I can stay in America and feel like I'm in Australia. All I have to do is eat shitty food and drink shitty beer, and listen to shitty music, and shitty accents, and like shark tooth necklaces. But I did watch Crocodile Dundee one time. It was a pretty good movie. What are you talking about? Getting AIDS. I never actually got full-blown AIDS. White people have a cure. It's just one pill you take for once a week. Why didn't I blow it? I know. Kids do the dumbest things. What is it, Sam? Oh yeah, white people. It's a Jew lie that there's not a cure for AIDS. You take one pill every Saturday for, I think it's 6 weeks. You don't have AIDS anymore. But it's not even expensive. But they don't prescribe it to non-whites. They do. They prescribe it to Jews, other Jews. You got to kind of know a Jew to get this pill. Anyway, I've had AIDS 17 times since then. I don't even look like it, do I? All right, let's read some comments. Spider Stew. Oh, yeah. Australia has some of the biggest, juiciest spiders. Vegemite on its way. Fuck yeah. I really would try that. I just wouldn't give my address to an Australian because they'll come here and they'll want to stay because they wouldn't want to go back to Australia, which it used to be a beautiful country. And then they started letting the, what do they call them? The didgeridoos? What are the Black Australians? What are they called? What are the black people in Australia called again? Somebody let me know. Aborigines. They started letting them control all the political offices. And have y'all like, what's the C-SPAN of Australia? I forget what it's called. I think it's called, oh yeah, mate. Or some shit like that. And it's just, their parliament now is just all Aborigines banging sticks. And then there's an interpreter who's also an Aborigine. And not really writing down what they're saying. He's just kind of scribbling on paper because he's fascinated with the transfer of graphite to paper. They don't let him have ink, which they're pushing that through the Australian Senate, I hear. But anyway, yeah. So all the laws in Australia are now passed by people who make music with sticks. One guy who makes music with a stick. The rest haven't figured it out yet. July is my new band name. Would you put a weird spelling on it or anything? July. What's some good Jew band names be? Not Real Whites. Real actual whites. Actual no. That's going nowhere. 30 minutes. It's better than 28, which is what I thought it was. That penal niggery dues. That's it. Yeah. No, he's right. No, it is. Look it up. Google it. Yeah. No, you'll be surprised. That penal colony full of convicts was great before they went and ruined it. It's so true. Because let's be honest, they weren't all bad people that went to Australia. Just mostly. But like most Australians, they were already semi-retarded and couldn't survive the land. Okay? But you had a small percentage that actually developed it into a developed nation, a first world nation. And then that went away. But I can't say too much about Australia being a third world shithole because the United States is the same. It's the same thing. It's like I was talking about earlier today with the buildings that were made in the 1930s were probably built predominantly by white Americans who really like the snow. And that's why you know that Minnesota probably had 99.9% white masons and carpenters and whatnot, because we all know that black people don't like the cold and white people love it for some reason. I prefer just a mild, temperate climate that always stays around 72 degrees. That's my preference. I don't have that, but I was also talking about moving soon to a new place. But the problem is, it's also cold there. But you got to ask yourself, would I deal with the cold to just be around white people? I know that sounds crazy. But the answer is yes. I can build a fire. And the summers probably wouldn't be bad. You know what I mean? Those places are Montana and Idaho. And I figure I would probably be able to stay there for about 10 years before I was assassinated by the government for not wanting to live around other people that weren't white. Why is that so bad to say? Why is that bad to say? I'm just saying, look, I'm not a fan of the riots. I'm a big fan of the riots themselves, but I would like to remain far away from them. And I noticed it wasn't until recently that white people started participating in the riots. But when you hear them talk, you realize, oh, they're confused and they think they're black. I think it's because of hip hop, which I'm also a big fan of. I like hip hop. But that said, I might have to boycott it. Now, I'm pretty sure if I did boycott hip hop, I'd be called a racist. Which doesn't matter because I'm already called a racist anyway. Which doesn't matter because I'm probably racist. Because I'm racist. But I'll bet if I told somebody, not even a black person, just let's say a modern white person under 30, if I said I had to stop listening to rap music because I knew for a long time that it was detrimental to American culture and society. But it finally got to the point where I had to put my foot down and say, I'm not going to be influenced by listening to hip hop anymore, which is going to be hard because I'm a big fan. It's not my absolute favorite genre of music, but I'm a big fan. But I bet I would be called racist for that. And it makes you wonder all the other things you could be called racist for. which probably isn't really racist. Like, I'll give you an example, but I'll take race out of it. Everybody in the chat, I guarantee, knows that if I were to say in the fake world of Twitter that I wouldn't date a non-passable transsexual, and they'd be like, so you're a fucking bigot and you don't like women. And I'm like, no, I'm a big fan of women. I'm a big fan of penises. But the penis on the woman, she has to look like a real girl. You know what I mean? And it'd be like, oh, you're just a fucking homophobic bigot. And I'd say again, hang on. No, did you miss what I said about the penis? And you can't win. You give them 6 inches and they take a mile. You know what I mean? They take a mile. They just run with it. It's never enough. It's never enough. And the people that are still trying to appease this, it's either that they haven't realized that it'll never be enough until you're all dead, or they would... I lost my train of thought. I'm not good at ranting. I really need a script. But I'll try. So the end result of capitulation is that you'll just keep going and going and going, and it'll never stop no matter how bad it gets. So you're watching that. You're watching that unfold right now with the protests. So whether you care if the black man was killed by the police, or by the way, I saw a report from the coroner. It's not the official report, but his preliminary results say that the guy died of like natural causes, basically, and maybe drugs that might have been in a system. Even if that was proven, and like there was another independent autopsy by a black doctor by Drake. Even if Drake did an autopsy, they go, no, that cop still killed him. But you got to say, he probably wouldn't have died if the cop wasn't kneeling on his head and neck. You know what I mean? Maybe he would have died later, but I mean, the cop was still the result of that. But my point is, because of that, and because they didn't immediately capitulate and execute the cop in the street, they're burning an entire city, which I'm a huge fan of. And you know who's going to get mad at me for saying that? White people. White people are going to get mad at me for saying that. Isn't that astounding? I'm like, that's so racist of you. I think that white liberals are, and I hate even using terms like white liberals and shit like that. It's so, I try not to do political talk because to me it's the equivalent of, I've done it so much for so long that it's the equivalent of when you're a teenager and you get high and you pontificate about the stupidest shit with your friends for hours because you're like, oh man, I'm high and I think so deep and it's so cool. But then after a while you realize this is kind of stupid and weed is for children. You grow up and then grown men try to have those same conversations with you while they're sober. And I'm like, dude, I talked about this when I was 13 and fucking stoned out of my mind. Okay? I can't do this now. That's what politics has become for me. I realized probably like 2 years ago now, look, it's just back and forth. You're either talking to people who agree with you, and then that's entertaining because you can keep the conversation going without tension, or the opposite of that is you have a conversation with somebody who doesn't agree with you, and y'all just go back and forth and you don't change each other's minds. And it's like, look, I know what I feel, what I like politically, and I don't need you to agree with that, and I don't need to explain myself. I kind of wish you would go fuck yourself. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about anybody's political opinion anymore. You know whose opinion I care about? Mine. Anybody who knows me will tell you, is like, yeah, he'll talk politics for about 5 minutes, and it goes something like this. Oh, he did that? Oh, fuck him. We're doomed anyway. We're doomed anyway. That leads me to another story. Damn it, that shirt looked good until my fat just slowly stretched it out. But, so I got bored with watching the riots last night because you can only watch so much fire. And I went and I watched The Patriot on Netflix. I only made it about 40 minutes in before I got word that the National Guard was rolling in. So I had to click back, and it still really wasn't much action. But it did set up tonight to be a real barn burner. But this will be my political talk for the day, and it'll be a synopsis of how I feel politically and why I don't like talking politics. So in the movie, spoiler alert, Mel Gibson's son is killed by the British. Real heart-wrenching scene, especially if you have children, because you're instantly enraged at these fucking tyrants that come from 3,000 miles away, and they shoot your kid. When Mel Gibson in the movie was helping his wounded soldiers, he was helping the wounded redcoats, but he was also helping the revolutionaries, whatever the fuck you call them. I don't know, I should know that, but again, I don't care anymore. So Mel Gibson gets away. They were supposed to be executed. Gets away. He kills 20 soldiers, 20 redcoat soldiers, and saves his son that was being taken to be executed, not the one that got shot a little bit earlier. And then Mel Gibson was against the war with England at first, but after seeing their absolute tyranny, realized, I have to do something about this. This is unacceptable. And then he becomes the Patriot. He gets a cape that's got a big P on the back of it, and his tri-corner hat is like bright red. I'm kidding, of course. But it makes you start feeling real patriotic. And you go, can you believe that the British tried to pull that shit? It was so violent, and it was so tyrannical. And as a modern day American, I felt very rah-rah. I was very like, fuck yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Mel Gibson get his revenge. And juxtaposed on the backdrop of actual history, it was fairly accurate with the characters and shit that were in the movie. But so there came a moment in the movie where Mel Gibson dons, the title of colonel, and he's about to fuck these people up. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. Fight for your American rights and life and liberty and all that shit. And it just reoccurred to me in that very moment where I was like, they're about to show you how America's going to be fucking great. They're going to take out England, and just America's going to be phenomenal, unlike anything the world has ever seen. And then I was like, oh, that's right. I was just watching our modern cities burn by liberal white people, blacks that are also up there. There were Mexicans that came down from Canada. So everything that the Patriot fought for apparently was giant amalgamations of mixed multicultural societies destroying modern American cities. And I go, you know what? Mel Gibson should have let the British win. He should have just let them win, because look at us now. And we're not going back. We're not going backwards. It's not going to get better. That's another thing. Like, people go, well, if we elect this guy and these people do this and we get these people out of office, I just roll my eyes. I go, it's not going to happen. The machine is against you. The machine is too powerful. You're not going to get those people. And when you do get those people in there, the ones that you thought were going to change something, nothing changed. If anything, the other side just accelerates even further. It just gets worse faster, which I guess I would be an accelerationist. Make it fucking crumble faster. That's fine with me. I feel like I'll survive. I've got millions of dollars. I got tens of thousands of rounds of ammunition, multiple places I can go, food stores, all that shit. So I don't really care. Well, no, I do care. I wanted to just hurry up and collapse. But I'm not going to humor you with your solutions to fixing American society. It's broken beyond the point of repair. It's not coming back. I don't know what you can do to fix it, and I don't give a shit. I'm not going to talk to you about it, because if you haven't realized that this is unsavable, you're kind of an idiot.
You are one pathetic loser.
40 minutes, everybody. Maybe 45, because my clock is wrong. Matter of fact, how about this? I will, first of all, let's go back to being colorful. Yeah. And let me see if I can fix the clock real quick, because the clock is 3 minutes behind, which has been fucking up our start time. But, oh, come on. Fucking Windows won't even let me change the time. But I can change the day, really. Anyway, I do have that barrel of gas. I actually have 5 of them now. The real, he's the fake Patriot. The real Patriot just got back from Air Force. Do we got an update on him showing up tomorrow, by the way? Let me know. Of course, he should be telling me because he should be watching this, but why would he? I don't know. Yeah, it won't let me change the time, guys. So from now on, if we say a show starts at 6 o'clock, it's actually 6:03. Taskbar to adjust date and time. Set time automatically off. Set time automatically on. Nope. Current date and time. It won't let me just punch in a clock time. Can you believe that? Oh, well. Fuck that. All right. So let's get serious again. Anything you guys want me to say in the comments? Oh, Leroy, you're right. All right, now let me try to fix that. Ah, look at that. So now that I know I can do this, I was sad. I wasn't sad that Nicarlo died, per se. I feel like he was deserving of death by record-breaking anal sex. But I was worried that I wouldn't be able to control this stuff. But at this rate, I mean, we're going to be playing fucking videos in a few hours, even. If I just say, I got to go to work tonight, so in a few days I'll say. But fuck it, guys. We just got rid of most of the dead weight. And I mean that both physical weight and, like, whatever. That means he's fat and, Balkanizing is still a pipe dream. Don, you're right. I was going to mention that, but then that would be counter to what I was saying. But I feel like that would be an honest. What happened to the puppy? He died too. He got stepped on at the gangbang, and it took a long time. He suffered for a while, and nobody had the wherewithal to just shoot it in the head. So I think its lungs just filled with blood, and the puppy slowly suffocated on its own blood-filled lungs. But yeah, balkanizing. It's an interesting thing to talk about. People will go, "Well, that's totally fucking racist." But you go, "Well, no. If you look at history, some of the most prominent black leaders in the past were very much separatist, and to this day, a lot of them still are." I'll use Farrakhan as an example. I'm a big fan of Farrakhan, by the way. People. Sometimes people are shocked by that, but it's always people who listen to the Fox News clips of Farrakhan, or maybe even the modern day. Once Farrakhan started attacking the Jews, is when the left wing media stopped using him. But it wasn't until he touched that, you know what I mean, and then they would pick and choose what he was saying for them to run with. So Farrakhan's good. I'm more of a Malcolm X guy. I'm more of an X fan. More like Malcolm X version 1.0, though. Okay. You know what I can try to do? Maybe I can. I probably shouldn't say it because then you'll expect me to be able to do it. But Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. Why is he watching Space Ghost? D Live. Oh, that's still blackballed stream. Sorry y'all can't see that. I'm trying to be entertaining, but I'm also trying to release the chest, which I'm not guaranteeing. Let me refresh. See what's on there. 133. I thought you guys said I was doing good. Jeez. Okay, let me click on the chest. The more you engage, I understand that. Mr. White Tuber and 2 others followed today. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for following. For your anti-tranny, anti-Jew news, you tuned into the right place. Let's see. So there's that chest, right? I see that one. Just show the titty. I can't. The titties aren't on this profile. Dick Nicarlo left me basically without any resources for the show to go on. But as you can see, the show still goes on. And better than ever before. Yeah, I don't know. I can't release the chest. So what if I put in a diamond? I'm going to put in a diamond. Let's type something. Let's see if this works.
Thank you for the shekels. Israel appreciates your contribution.
Yes. And I'm not anti-tranny, Dave. Okay? I'm anti-non-passable trannies because they're not trying hard enough. Not trying hard enough. So I'll put, let's do another diamond. Boom. I won't even type anything. Wait, did it let me do that? Gotta type something maybe controversial. Oh, wait. This was my favorite line.
Thank you for
of
the shekels.
day.
Israel appreciates your contribution.
I'm going to read these again for somebody who didn't catch it. Oh, okay. Bear with me here. Line of the day. Stolen from Opie and Anthony. When protesters were asked how they felt about the authorities detaining the CNN crew, the majority of the young respondents said, "What is CNN?" The protesters then set fire to a mail truck and chanted, "Free James Lloyd, free James Lloyd," because his name was George Floyd, I think. I don't know. Come on, guys. Help me figure out this chest. I'm running out of time. Oh, and since we got 3 followers, I put in those diamonds, but I'll throw one more in. One more, and it lets me type a little message in.
Thank you for
There
the
we go.
shekels.
That's
Israel
not what I
appreciates your
typed.
contribution.
I'm gonna have to end it, fellas, because I don't know how to release the chest. But I'll pause my own stream. I think I'm on the wrong thing. Whatever. Anyway, I don't have an outro. I don't have anything. So let's see if I can figure out how to end it. I feel like 50 minutes when I needed to do 20 was pretty good. I will see a lot of you tomorrow. Super big party. Weird weather here. It's supposed to snow all night, baby. All night long.